I have followed this story from the very first murmur of concern, carefully listening to every official update from the Pima County Sheriff's Department and every public statement shared by the Guthrie family. National outlets like CNN and BBC News have carried the developments far beyond Arizona, but here in Tucson, the weight feels closer, heavier. It is Sunday evening, February 8th, 2026, and 8 long days have passed since Nancy Guthrie disappeared. What began as worry has turned into a relentless ache of uncertainty. The most painful truth remains unchanged. An 84-year-old grandmother is missing, and there has been no verified proof of her safety. Each passing hour deepens the urgency, and the silence surrounding her whereabouts has become almost unbearable for a family and community desperate for answers. The woman behind the headlines. Nancy Guthrie was never simply a name scrolling across a news banner. She was the steady heartbeat of a deeply connected family. Widowed years ago after losing her husband unexpectedly, she rebuilt her life with quiet strength, raising 3 children and creating a home filled with laughter and faith. Friends describe her as joyful and quick to smile, the kind of person who remembered birthdays and never missed a Sunday service. Though physically fragile in recent years, she remained mentally sharp and fiercely independent. She lived in a peaceful ranch-style home in Tucson's Catalina foothills, surrounded by desert beauty and towering saguaro cacti. It was the kind of neighborhood where neighbors wave from driveways and evenings settle in gently. That sense of safety, carefully built over decades, was shattered overnight in a way no one could have imagined. Health concerns that add urgency. Nancy's disappearance carries an added layer of urgency because of her health. She relied on a walker to move through her home and managed chronic heart disease with the help of a pacemaker and carefully timed medications. Doctors have explained publicly that missing even a short stretch of her prescriptions could cause serious complications, weakness, confusion, or dangerous cardiac issues. The thought that she may not have access to what she needs has weighed heavily on investigators and loved ones alike. From the moment deputies realized she was gone, time became more than just a measure on a clock. It became a medical countdown. The family has spoken openly about this reality, not to alarm the public, but to emphasize why every hour matters. For Nancy, consistent care is not optional. It is essential for survival and stability. The last normal evening. The timeline begins on what appeared to be a completely ordinary Saturday night, January 31st. Nancy had dinner with family members, sharing conversation and warmth, as she always did. She was dropped off at her home between 9:30 and 9:45 p.m., walking inside with her walker as the garage door closed behind her around 9:50. There were no signs of distress, no unusual phone activity afterward. For several hours, everything seemed normal. Her pacemaker monitoring system continued transmitting data as expected. Then, sometime between approximately 1:45 and 2:30 a.m. on February 1st, the signal stopped. That narrow window has become central to the investigation. It marks the last confirmed activity connected to Nancy, and the moment when routine gave way to a mystery that has since gripped an entire region. A disturbing discovery. Concern grew Sunday morning when Nancy failed to attend church, something friends say she never missed. Calls went unanswered. By noon, relatives entered her home and found it empty. Deputies responding to the 911 call quickly realized this was no simple welfare check. Signs of forced entry were documented, along with small amounts of blood inside the residence and near the porch. The home was swiftly declared a crime scene. Sheriff Chris Nanos addressed the public, stating investigators believed Nancy had likely been taken against her will. That announcement changed everything. What had begun as confusion now carried the gravity of a suspected abduction. The involvement of federal authorities soon followed, underscoring the seriousness of the case and signaling that resources would be mobilized at the highest levels to bring Nancy home safely. The search across the foothills. By Monday, February 2nd, large-scale search operations spread across the rugged terrain of the Catalina foothills. Ground teams moved methodically through desert washes and rocky trails. Helicopters circled overhead, while drones scanned hard-to-reach areas. Volunteers joined deputies in canvassing neighborhoods, reviewing doorbell footage, and speaking with residents. Investigators examined traffic cameras and license plate reader data, hoping to identify any suspicious vehicle movement during the critical early morning hours. Despite the intensity of the effort, no clear escape route or suspect vehicle immediately emerged. Evidence inside the home strongly suggested Nancy had not left voluntarily. Meanwhile, medical experts reiterated the urgency of locating her quickly. Each day without medication heightened concern, transforming the search into a race not only against uncertainty, but against the limits of the human body. Messages that complicate the case. On Tuesday, February 3rd, reports surfaced that several media organizations had received digital messages claiming responsibility for Nancy's disappearance. The communications demanded a large sum of money in cryptocurrency and included specific details that had not been publicly released. Authorities confirmed that the FBI was analyzing the messages, but cautioned that authenticity had not yet been verified. Whether they were genuine or the work of opportunists exploiting a tragic situation remained unclear. Still, every message was treated seriously. Investigators examined digital pathways, blockchain activity, and encrypted networks, searching for any traceable clue. The possibility of ransom shifted the emotional landscape of the case. It introduced new questions and new fears, while also offering the faint hope that contact, however troubling, might mean Nancy was still alive somewhere. A family's public plea. On February 4th, Nancy's children released a video that resonated across the country. Sitting closely together, visibly exhausted yet composed, they thanked the community for its support and pleaded directly for their mother's safe return. Their words were steady but emotional, reflecting both heartbreak and determination. They asked for proof that she was alive and expressed willingness to cooperate if contact was made. The video spread quickly, drawing attention from national networks and inspiring candlelight vigils throughout Tucson. Neighbors, who had once known Nancy simply as a friendly face, now gathered to pray and hope together. The family's appeal was not dramatic or sensational. It was deeply human. It reminded everyone watching that behind the headlines was a mother and grandmother whose absence left a profound and painful void. Negotiations and unanswered questions. By February 7th, the family acknowledged receiving additional communication and stated publicly that they were prepared to do what was necessary for Nancy's safe return. Reports circulated of escalating financial demands, accompanied by deadlines, though law enforcement continued urging caution and coordination through official channels. Behind the scenes, behavioral analysts studied the language of the messages, while cyber specialists traced digital routes. Negotiation teams remained on standby around the clock, yet questions multiplied faster than answers. Were the communications genuine? Was one person involved, or several? Was Nancy still nearby, or transported far from Tucson? Most pressing of all, how long could she endure without proper medical care? Each new development carried both hope and anxiety, deepening the emotional complexity of an already overwhelming situation. A community united in hope. Throughout February 8th, search efforts continued without pause. Deputies, FBI agents, K-9 units, and volunteers expanded search areas well beyond the original perimeter. Hundreds of tips poured in daily, each carefully reviewed. The machinery of investigation moved steadily, fueled by determination and the shared belief that Nancy deserves to come home. In neighborhoods across Tucson, porch lights remain on overnight as quiet symbols of solidarity. Churches have held prayer gatherings. Strangers have offered meals and comfort to the Guthrie family. Even amid fear and uncertainty, there is a powerful sense of unity. Nancy's story has become more than a case file. It is a reminder of how deeply connected a community can be when one of its own is missing. And as night falls on this 8th day, hope, fragile but persistent, still endures.